What's going on, people? Welcome to another edition of Hustlers Kung Fu Live. Today, we're going to chop up what's about to happen between the gap between rich and poor people. It is about to explode. You're going to see a level of differential between the rich and the not rich that's going to literally blow your mind. The global reset is real. And one of the things that I want to share with you is something a friend wrote. But with that, let me go ahead and get some more people into the room. Because, I woke up this morning and I was looking at what's about to happen. And it is crazy when you look at it. It is, I got to give you the foundational stuff of this so it makes a lot more sense for you folks who are tuned in. All right, give me a second. I need to get some music going here. There we go. This episode was brought to you by HustlersKungFuLifeSkills.com. Currently, we have some courses that I am getting ready to set up. The Making Money course. We're going to have a live webinar this Sunday with that course. Plus, there's going to be some other webinars going on. There will be another section added to this course before Sunday. And I'm going to work on the critical mindset course today to give you the right stuff. And there will be more training coming soon. So if you are looking for the knowledge in the situations, because see, right now, there are many people who are sitting at home bored. They actually are wasting time. This is not the time to be sitting at home and bored. This is the time to be going to Audible, get yourself an Audible subscription, and this is the time to be listening to audiobooks, reading books, taking online courses. Because as you will see in this live episode, things are about to get very, very bad. And I'm going to give you the foundational aspects of this. And while we did not have a depression last time, it was called the Great Recession because it almost went on for 2 years. If it had went on to the 2-year mark, it would have been a depression. And we're going to talk about that and a lot more. A lot more. So for those of you who were asked, you can hit the Cash App. It's in the description because I've had a lot of people ask about Cash App. They don't like the situation with the super chats, but we about to get popping. One of the things that I wanted to do, make sure that we are cooking with gas. I want to share some with you. And I agree 100% because many of the things that you will hear in this, I have said. So this is from a friend on my other page. I was just asked how I'd be so confident that depression's on the way. Here was my response. Imagine 20 million or more people over the next 8 weeks losing their jobs. Now consider that most have no savings. Worse, they have significant credit card debt. So when the notice comes, they can either feed the baby or themselves or make their credit card payments. Most don't even have enough for a $400 emergency, so it won't be to make their payment. So now you have a trickle-up effect. The banks that issued debt suddenly have delinquency skyrocket. Another few weeks go by, and then there's another 10 to 20 people out of work with nothing but starvation unemployment wages, assuming they qualify them, which many won't because they're part-time server workers with no savings, so it goes on and on. Meanwhile, you have tenants unable to pay their retail and office space rent. You have folks unable to pay their apartment rent. You have people who can't pay their mortgages because their job went away and it's never coming back. The 1,200 household bailout is a band-aid to stop this from happening to banks for a month or so, to buy time. But make no mistakes, there is no magical thinking that will stop the contagion or will speedily bring jobs back. We're talking month after month of increasing numbers unable to find work, unable to pay their debts, unable to do so much besides struggle to survive. So what does that do for consumer spending? With 70% of GDP consumer spending, it shoots it in the head. It's game over. Things cannot return to normal, which was really an entire nation delusionally living beyond its means. At best, things can eventually return to a different kind of normal where massive unemployment is ordinary as it was in the 1930s, and there's a complete disconnect, even more so now, between Wall Street and the real economy. But banks won't be immune from a chain reaction of defaults like nothing seen over the last 90 years. No matter how much play money the Fed prints to bail out the banks, there won't be enough for an entire plummet to fall known as debts. And demand tumbling 40, 56% and staying down for years as consumer habits shift from childlike stupidity to fearful risk aversion. That's why depression is guaranteed. A collapse in demand and credit and debt and asset prices like real estate, especially commercial and speculative real estate, like rental homes that are highly leveraged and the payments covered by the rents. What happens when the tenant can't afford the $3,000 a month to rent the house and there are no new ones in the market? What happens when you need to slash rents by half just to get a warm body in? And even then, that's questionable. Defaults as far as the eye can see. And that doesn't even begin to address the damage the derivatives market's done by tumbling oil and other commodities. It will be a bloodbath. Now, this is from one of my friends who is pretty astute. And we have talked about this. I've talked about this several times. I have screamed it, shouted it, because how many times have I brought up that the average person couldn't come up with $400 or $1,000 for a short-term emergency? This is very telling because we're going, I read this to give you the foundational work of what's going on. All right. And we just had 6.6 more million people file for unemployment. So we're almost to 10 million people who lost their jobs. So we're going to see another 10 to 20 million people lose their jobs this month. And this is when this is going to take effect. You're going to see a level of craziness that you've never seen in this country before because we've never been through this before. Let's see. What's up, people? Ernest Dotson, you ahead of me because I was going to bring that up. America will finally realize how poor they truly are. Oh, wait a minute. I'm about to. Errol Holmes, new to your channel. Do you ever show sources or is this an opinionated show? Errol Holmes, I show sources. For all you folks who want to see references, I show references. You're very new because you haven't seen, but I will get into, hold on. Let me go ahead and get this. For the folks who want sources, hold on a second. All right. A 3,000 jump in jobless claims has devastated the U.S. job market. I don't know why y'all want to push back on me when I keep saying that unemployment is exploding. I had someone who was like, well, I don't think, because see, you guys are in your feelings. You're not looking at the economic data, and most of you have never run a business and don't know how hard this shit is. I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen from experience, not opinion. But my feelings like Kiki. The last 3 weeks have marked one of the most devastating periods in history for the American job market as first-time claimants for unemployment benefits have surged more than 3,000% since early March. 6.6 million workers filed their first week of unemployment this week, ending March 28th, a new historic high. Last week, 3.3 million people filed for unemployment. We will have 10 to 20 people, newly unemployed people, this month. That's the source. And also, anything I say, you can go to Google machine and fact check it if you like. All these people who want the facts, check my resume. All right. Jay's Properties, that's funny. No, America's never going to fall out of being a superpower. It's going to go higher. Earl Holmes, the stock market is the crystal ball to America. If it recovers, we'll be fine. Earl Holmes, I need your sources for that, because the stock market and the real economy, there is a disconnect, because the stock market was at all-time high. California had record number of homeless people. We had a whole bunch of people who did not have full employment. Once again, Errol, I showed you my sources. Give me some facts, not your opinion, because you the one came in here with this is an opinionated show. And the fact that you believe the stock market is the barometer of America tells me you don't own the business. You don't know about cash flow. You're just giving your opinion. That's very funny that you hit me up with that comment and then put this comment in there. The stock market is disconnected from the real economy, as you will see. And the stock market ain't going to recover no time soon. Calculated risks. Everything's going to be on clearance sale in a minute. Lee Turner, stack your money. Oh, Turf, I'm not excusing this saffiness, because I get people come in here who want to challenge me and they don't have my experience. They don't have my experience of running business, having employees, and making money. They just have their feelings. And that's why I come off the way that I do, because if you're going to challenge me, check my resume before you challenge me, because I will clown you with facts and proof and experience. Pretty much, man. Chris Torres, I work for a company that furloughed 600 to 700 people the last 2 weeks. That's everyday, folks. That's real as it gets. All right, Gentlemen's Driving Club, take that action. Take that action. Errol Holmes, that's a challenge, because you're asking if it's an opinionated show. I showed you facts. Don't come up there with this weak stuff. Show me some facts that we're going to be fine. Because once again, you're really new to this, because I don't believe the stock market is a crystal ball to America. I believe the stock market is disconnected from average America, because the recession was going to happen without this virus, because of economic activity was reduced. The virus accelerated what was going to happen and made it worse. This was going to happen. If you look at retail has been in a depression. Toys R Us, Starbucks, Subways, all of them are closing stores. So there is a huge disconnect between the stock market and normal mainstream America. And anyone that believes like, oh, the stock market is the barometer of the economy, they don't understand business. It's real out here. People can't pay their month this month that thought was a game a month ago, pretty much. Already finding mad deals for tools. All right, Aaron V. All right, so this is what's about to happen because we're going to have all of these people who are going to be unemployed. They're going to now, as I think Jeremy said in the beginning, realize just how poor they are. And you're going to have a bunch of people for the first time in many years, they're going to have to live with the fact that they don't have any money. The reality is going to be bitter, harsh, and crisp. They're going to have to deal with the facts that they are not where they think they are. And this is crazy. I had another chick reach out to me last night. I don't have my phone. And she was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm good." And she said, "I need a favor." I was like, "What kind of favor?" She said, "Can I come live with you?" I'm like, "I got a girlfriend. That ain't gonna work." She's like, "Well, I understand you have a rather large house, so I could just stay upstairs." I'm like, "No, my girlfriend don't even live with me." No, 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 no. And not to mention, I was just like, I'm doing a lot of work. I'm using the whole house. So having someone here that I'm not actually hitting that trim ain't gonna work for me. And I already got a girlfriend. So a big part of this is we only weeks in this. Imagine what America's gonna look like in another month. Because there are many people who keep saying that it's going to be a quick recovery. It's going to be a quick recovery. We just had 10 million people lose their jobs. How does America work? Our 70% of our GDP is spending. So we just got 10 million people who are not going to be able to spend. And we're going to have another 10 or 20 million people this month who will not be able to spend. That's going to impact the economy detrimentally. And all these folks are like, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm like, no, 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 it's not. Because the carnage that's going through the economy on a global set, the global reset is real. The global reset is real. The global reset is going to reset how companies operate. It's going to reset personal relationships. You guys who follow Disruptive Mail and who listen to me, you're going to love this. The gap is about to explode because if you are a dude who still have your job, you got your own place, and you got money in the bank, you're going to become the new rich. Let me say this again. If you got your own place, you got a car, and you got money coming in consistently, you will become the new way rich. Because so many people are about to fall off the cliff. I'm talking. I was talking to. I'll share this. This was from my sugar baby experience. This girl's living in an apartment with no hot water because she had to get someplace, and she's living with a slumlord. It's about to get really bad for a segment of the population that is not prepared for this. It is going to be very, very bad. I'm talking people are going to be living in their cars. Van life is about to explode. You're going to have people who are going to, like Erica Williams. Erica, I don't know if you're listening. I don't know if you're here today. Erica Williams gonna have her a homosexual. He gonna have a 6-pack. He gonna have that square jaw. He gonna have them broad shoulders. She gonna have her a pretty dude up in her place because these homosexuals are about to be putting in the work for a place to stay. So if you are a person who lives on their own, you still have a job, you have the little debt, and you have money coming in, people will be knocking on your door. They will be knocking on your door. Because right now, the going back to the story, the emperor has no clothes. We're about to see a lot of naked people. We're about to see a lot of naked people. God is no, that's one of those feminine men. Yep, it's inevitable. Coach Coach Carroll, I got a squat rack, I got a Smith machine, I got a calf machine, I got everything in the basement. I'm good. Kevin Bowen volunteering laying off people. Sarah Holly, she's staying with her daughter right now because we're going to talk about the people who were already economically fragile. This is just going to push them off the cliff. I don't have a doghouse. Pretty much, Kevin. Pretty much. Norm Reader. I mean, it is crazy. Yes, BK from the Rocky. The Moochers were out. Goddess knows she knows me. We used to be in a relationship, but I'm like, ain't nobody coming up in here. Cal Green, pretty much. I know Agent J. Poole, there's a lot of people pushing about that this is going to be quick. See, here's the reason it's not going to be quick. We're still going down. We must go down, hit rock bottom, stay there for a minute before we can recover. We're still going down. That's why there's not going to be a quick recovery. March, we went down. April, we're going down. And I have a bad feeling that May, we're going to go down even further. In the May, we could have 40 million people unemployed out of the current working population of 120 million. That's a lot of people. D Nice had a chick beg me for 2,000. Hey, D Nice is gonna keep coming on. Alexis, the regular citizen is screwed, and I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. Christopher Niles, it's time to face reality. The economy was all in, pretty much. Calculated risk, pretty much. Pretty much. Discount profits in 2021, absolutely. Been the bartender, pretty much. Erica Williams, he gonna have that square jar. He gonna have that 6-pack. He gonna be chocolatey. He gonna be so pretty. He gonna be. They gonna be coming for you. See, like if you are like I know what's happening to me. I've been hit up with by 7 of my exes. This chick, she's number 8. She asked to move in. I know what's happening to me. I know they coming for you. You got the YouTube channel. You be talking about you be going out in your dresses and your little boots. They gonna be knocking on your door. He gonna have that square. He gonna have that square jaw. He gonna be like, yeah. You gonna come home. He gonna be cooked dinner. Oh man. James Salmon, G on point. I got them one that live in my property trying to make a deal. Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet. We still rolling. Omega deals gaming and desperation, many will turn on each other. Carlo, the unemployment benefits are going to be starvation wages. They're just going to be enough to get some food. They're not going to be enough to pay your rent, to pay your car note. I mean, many folks are going to, and they're going to eventually stop. And a lot of people are not going to qualify that. Uncle G, I went to get some dumbbells and kettlebells. They were sold out everywhere. Everybody going to be working from home. I'm a technology wife, healthcare worker for the men's side. We're good for now, Chris. Hey, channel. I've seen the number of Twitch female streamers in the past couple of weeks, pretty much. He gonna be so pretty, Sierra. He gonna be pretty. Alexis gives some leopard jars. All right. There was already an economic moat between rich people and regular people and poor people. And many people in the classification of regular folks are going to slide into the poor people slot. The poor population is about to explode. And this is why the gap between rich and poor is going to explode. Because what you're going to have is like, if you, like you guys, I've been talking this for 2 years on Disruptive Mail. And I was like, here, rule number one, get your economics together. If you are a man with a good economic system, you got money in the bank, you got your own place, they're going to be, hello, anybody home? Hello, anybody home? It's Big Booty Betty. Big Booty Betty is going to be doing some double monkey backflips all over the place because Big Booty Betty, because see, like right now, the number of chicks who are running the OnlyFans is exploding in supply and demand. There's going to be so many chicks out there with their OnlyFans page, and the number of people who can afford that is about to go down. The economic moat is about to get, like my neighborhood, the grocery stores, all the shelves are stocked now. There's toilet paper. Most of these people are out walking, they're running. I feel a lot of them are working because they still work from home. And it's just totally different. You're going to see people who are going to, because this is how it's going to go. You got regular folks who are barely holding on. They're going to slide into the poor people category. And then you got poor people who were really in bad shape are going to slide into poverty. So a number of people who are regular folks are going to slide to poor to poverty. And a lot of people who are poor are going to slide into poverty. I'm talking about not, squatting in empty houses with no electricity, no running water, using the bathroom in jars. This is already here. This is already here. It's just going to increase. So if you, once again, my dudes, if you've been listening to me and you've been working on your economics, the things that you're going to be able to pull off in the coming days is going to be wild. It's going to be wild. Single mothers and elderly will be targeted. Single mothers are about to start tricking. Just put it blunt. Erica will have a concubine in every square inch of her home. Wolflow, the only checks people will get are reality checks. Deal. This is about survival level stuff where women coming to stay with you and you have to vote hoes off the island when they start tripping. Dylan has had a shopping cart full of groceries. A couple women waved at me. Be real. What do you suspect is going to happen to so much of the population that cannot afford their rent? Well, a big part of that is the trickle down. Like, remember when I was talking about getting in real estate and I had everybody on me, don't buy a house, don't pay cash. And the leverage game. See, the leverage game is we're about to become unleveraged as an economy. What happens is all these renters can't pay their rent. It's going to put many landlords who are leveraged to their teeth because they didn't buy right They don't have enough money. They don't have affordable rents. And they're going to be in a situation where these banks are going to start taking some heavy, heavy losses. And as someone said in the chat, in 2021, you're going to be able to get properties much cheaper than you can now, because it's going to take some time for this to go through the system. It's going to take some time for people to accept the reality, because right now, like, finally I'm starting to see these guys on the personal finance channel. They're like, this is bad. Because they kept saying, if we have a recession, there is no if we're having a recession. We're currently in a recession. There is no if. You can let that go, that pretty Pollyannish lane. There's one guy's like, hey, let's be positive. Let's just be positive. It's kind of hard to be positive when baby JoJo's screaming his head off because he's hungry. It's hard to be positive when you're in that situation. And unfortunately, many people are going to find themselves in those kind of situations. I'm going out and get me a shotgun today because I think crime is about to explode. Because you're going to have a whole bunch of people out here with nothing to do, no way to make money. And the longer this goes on, the more desperate people are going to get. Home invasions are going to start happening. You're going to see, this is why, be sure to watch the recession proof business playlist, because home security is about to explode. The rich people are going to hire security services. They're going to be armed guards. You're going to see that it's going to be like Brazil. If you've ever been to Brazil or Mexico, or South Africa, these people live behind gates, and many people have guards. So the rich people are going to they're going to start hiring personal protection details. That's coming. And you're going to, once again, like I said, I'm going out today if I can find a gun shop that's open, and I'm getting me a 12 gauge shotgun for home defense. Because my house isn't quite the best from a home defense perspective, because I got a glass door right there and all these windows around there, and it's just not the best. And now the basement door, I got that blocked off, but we gonna make it do what it do. So be real. That's what's going to happen. A lot of defaults going to be all over the place. Homelessness is going to be on the rise. Absolutely. Lure Blizzard. Yeah, this is the worst thing that can ever happen to Trump. Flowmaster, rest in peace, middle class. Pretty much. Be real. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. I saw a few fan people talking about rates for house calls. Malika, what's the minimum combined income that's needed at this point to stay afloat? It really depends upon your lifestyle and expenses. There is no minimum. I know BK from the Rockies. I'm not really believing that, and I don't talk about it because there's no scientific basis behind that. Oh, Agent J Pool, I didn't think about that. I'll have to check the pawn shop. That's why I'm getting a shotgun. I'm good for ammo on all my pistols. I got plenty of ammo for my pistols, and I don't know if there's been a run on 12 gauge shotgun shells because I give them the 12 gauge. Alexis Trump is not going to come out of this as a genius. First of all, you got to understand that China is lying about their death toll. Their death toll is in the 45 to 50,000 people range, and they're lying about it. And why is this bad? Because we cannot get accurate information out of China. We got to wait to Italy and the UK go through it so we can model what's going on there. But we're also going through it at the same time. So if China was more forthcoming, and if China had did the proper things, this thing wouldn't be this bad. And this is why China's trying to like, no, we didn't do nothing. We didn't do anything. They're lying about their numbers. Russia's lying about their numbers. They're like, oh, there ain't nothing happening here. And there's Putin going to a hospital in full protective gear. Really? Really? Once again, I would not be surprised if a war starts over this against China, because China actually did not contain this thing. They didn't do the right things. And Trump will not be no genius, because when we go back in history and look, because there's this company called HEB in Texas, it's a grocery store. They started prepping for this in January. And if our administration had been on this job, they would have started prepping for this in January versus reacting to it in March. So he will not come out of this as a genius, because a lot of people, poor white Southerners who voted for Trump, are going to get hurt in this. Because let's go ahead and look at the classifications again. You have rich people, you have regular folks, you have poor people. The regular folks and the poor people are, a lot of people about to come out of the regular classification and slide straight over the poor. And many people who are poor are going to slide into poverty. And this is why, because the compare and contrast. What is rich? If, I'm going to share some with you. When I was a child, I used to think that people who had indoor plumbing were rich, because we didn't have indoor plumbing. So what's going to happen is the people who have means, who have a job, who have their own place, who still have a car, who still have cash flow, they're going to be magnified to be way richer than they look now. Let's see. Yeah, Trump's in trouble with the economy. Putin gets tested daily. Wow. Yep, JB, China is going to be the loser, because many companies that were using China as their manufacturing engine, they're leaving and they're never coming back. Because one of the things is the government let this get out of control. The Chinese government let this get out of control. They did not put proper measures in, because they want to lie about stuff and pretend things are better than they are. But the death rate of Chinese citizens, because let me go ahead and show y'all something. All right. Chinese hiding massive death toll from the bug. And they broke it down. Literally, there are funeral homes in China, in Wuhan. There's 8 funeral homes, and each funeral home are running their crematories 24/7. And there was this article of this truck driver who picked up 3,500 urns to take him to this place. And he did it 2 days in a row. So the Chinese death toll is much higher than what they're letting on. It's way higher. And they're trying to rewrite history because this is what the Chinese Communist Party does. We're not going to tell the truth. We're not going to help the rest of the world. We're going to continue to lie, and we're going to let the world find out for itself, because the virus that left China that went to Italy was way more deadly than the one that's here. Thank God, because this is why it was raising. And at the end of the day, because of our lack of preparation and being America, having the American way, I feel that we may have the highest death toll in the world, because many people are not taking this serious. Many people, until someone they know gets it and gets really sick or someone dies, that's the only way that many people are going to get it. Because until that happens, it's just like, it ain't real. It ain't real. And that is crazy. Iran's behind the stats on the virus. Trump was too busy trying not to get impeached. I mean, with the GOP Senate, he was never going to be impeached. J for Films, they said the same thing about World War One. They said the same thing about World War Two. We're gonna have people in desperate times. Anything can happen. I know many people said I was bugging when I said I was gonna become a millionaire from a YouTube channel, and look what happened. Many of you are going to learn to respect the forecast of the hustling Godfather, because I don't just say this stuff to say it. I really think about it, because Trump is in trouble. And if they can figure out a way to blame China for this, they may go to war with him. Who knows? Farrakhan, once again, until I get some proof of that, I'm not going to share that. Hustler JB Well, I think it's going to be a little different this time, because when people are hungry and people are starving, that's going to change how they vote. Because right now, America's been in a delusional state for many years. People been living fat, happy, and fancy off credit. And that's about to disappear. And people are going to have to look at the reality of how poor they are for the first time in their lives. Because the way it's been lately, I mean, I know a chick who doesn't have the best credit. She's been getting these things from Capital One about financing the car up to $40,000. If you were literally breathing, you could get credit in this country. And that's about to disappear. It's going to go back to how credit used to be when I was a kid. Well, I was a younger person. I remember when banks, if you did not have good credit, they would not give you the Visa, MasterCard, debit card. They would give you a regular debit card. We're going to get back to these credit standards, because it's going to be a global reset across the board. Yep, Sierra, they're lying. What's your worst case scenario for this? Total economic devastation, where we have a huge portion of our population sliving to being poor people in poverty. I think that could be the best case scenario. because it could get worse. There are still a few places hiring. Yep. Martinez, I would wait because once again, I'm sitting on my money. I don't want stuff on sale. I want stuff on clearance. And we're going to enter into the territory of clearance stuff very soon. I would say 2021, we're going to have clearance. And I would, if I was in the house, if I was looking for a property or buying a house, I would just wait a few months. I would not be in a hurry. Wayman Brown, that's funny. Steve Jameson, I agree. I know V for value. A lot of people caught up in the feeling like it can't get that bad. It can't get that bad. As someone who grew up really poor, I can tell you it can get that bad. And the many folks don't want to face that harsh reality. They just don't want to face it. I know, Kevin Davis. I mean, it's really implausible. Pretty much, JB. Well, pretty much. And we're going to have a lot of desperation around here. V for value, absolutely. B Ween, if you can get a job, make some money. Take that job and make you some money. The retail stores and warehouses are still hiring jobs. Yeah, but there's not enough jobs for all the people who are losing their jobs. Yeah, there are still people hiring, but when you're shedding 10 million jobs in 1 month, there's not enough economic activity in the places that are still hiring to absorb all of these folks. It just isn't. Martin Spencer, jobs in the tech field are going to explode. Chris Terrell, like security is going to be huge. Butte Wayne, it really does because many people are going to be in a situation where they're going to have to confront some harsh realities because even the poorest people in this country have cable, they have an iPhone, they can get some Yeezys, they can get some Jordans, and that's going to go away. We're going to have people who are not going to have money for food, let alone Jordans. And we're going to see a big shift, and the rich people are going to get richer. And one of the reasons the rich people are going to get richer is they're in a position to get richer. They have what's called proximity. If you are a millionaire, if you're already worth like $600 million, it ain't that hard for you to become a billionaire because you're so close. And what you're going to see is a massive concentration of wealth in few hands. Like, I'll be honest with you. I know what's going to happen because I already have the blueprint from the last recession. And like I said, if I knew what I know now, I would have went so much harder because I was really just kind of like playing around compared to my mindset right now because I'm going to build out a lot of online courses. I'm going to do webinars. I'm going to have training because for those people who listen to me, and in yesterday's stream, there was a lot of people who listened to me. They got rid of their debt. They got an emergency fund, and they're breathing. They're like, hey, it ain't that bad for me. Because once again, when I do these live streams, I want you guys to be good. Like, I'm not going to do any more videos on the stimulus stuff because everyone's doing that and they're getting a lot of short-term views in their channels and they're getting more subscribers off of this because people need the money. I get it. But I'm not going to do that. I'm taking a different turn. I'm going to prepare people to endure this because when I was living in that boarding house, I was there. I was extremely poor. I was working crappy jobs, and I understand what's about to happen. And many people are going to be put in that position. Many people are going to be economically fragile, and the folks who are already economically fragile are literally going to get pushed off the cliff. People are going to die. There's going to be hardships. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to go through with this economy. Sierra, that's also another issue. Jobs are hiring, but I bet they're not hiring at the same pay rate as the jobs they were laid off from. Flowmaster, possibly. Yeah, because once again, everybody here, like if you want to get in real estate, wait. Wait about 3 months. Just wait. Because what's going to happen is when a lot of these people who bought these properties for Airbnb and Airbnb marketplace doesn't come back because this thing keeps going on, they're going to be shedding these properties because they're going to be going into foreclosure. Or maybe or like say 2021, because let's say they get foreclosure relief but they get 12 months behind. What are these mortgage companies going to do? Literally, a year's worth of profit has disappeared for each one of these mortgages where they have to go into forbearance. That's a year's worth of profit per mortgage. That is cataclysmic for a mortgage company. So you're going to see some of these smaller mortgage companies go out of business. And you're going to have situations like, who owns this house? Well, this mortgage company, which now owns this house, they went out of business. Who then owns that house? It's going to get crazy. V for value, any job's going to look good to a few people in a few months, pretty much. Infinite mindset, real estate is going to be going on clearance. It is going to happen because it's already baked in. And we're probably going to shed another 10 to 20 million jobs this month, which is going to move unemployment to 10 or 11%, which is what it was during the Great Recession. And if we have to go into May, we're probably going to lose another 10, 20 million dollars. That's going to put us at probably 20%, 30%. Wholesale of real estate is going to be in trouble because there's going to be a lot of people, because to be able to wholesale a piece of real estate, someone must own that real estate outright. And I feel that wholesaling, every part of real estate is going to be impacted because when you look at the economic engine, people don't have jobs. So for every 10 million people that get laid off, there's a sizable chunk of people in there who no longer are in a position to do a mortgage and buy a house. It's going to be huge. This is a lot of houses that are not going to be sold. In my neighborhood, there's one house here, one across the street, one on Herds Ferry. They've been on the market for months, and these are $1 million properties. The one on Herds Ferry is going for $3.3 million. They're going to sit. And then there's a house over here on Long Island that's going for $1.5 million. That's going to sit. Because part of the problem is selling high-level real estate is anyone who has the ability to pay $1.5 million for a house, they want what they want. They don't want to have to go in and redo someone else's garbage. They'd rather 1.5 million. I'll just build my own dream home. So that's one of the issues they're having. But you're going to see every category of real estate's going to be impacted. Every category. And I'm just waiting for the people who are doing the real estate leverage game for Airbnb. That's going to be a huge number of properties going back on the market. Airbnb in the woods are probably booming. Who knows? It's going to be interesting, V for value. Yeah, a lot of people are going to be really see just how good the stock market is. Losing 20 million jobs is economic collapse. A lot of buildings are already empty. Cosmic Wisdom, Ohio governor just signed an executive order to prevent landlords from collecting rent for the next 90 days, but will the banks work with the landlords? Probably the banks will have no choice. BK from the Rockies, I would disagree with that. I would say if you're going to get into the real estate game, wait at least 3 months and let this thing filter out because you want to see the blood in the streets. You want to see the blood rolling down the streets because you're not going to have to get a piece of property on sale. You're going to be able to get properties on clearance. Once again, for the people who have cash, and I'm talking about the folks who have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600,000. If you have $100,000 cash money in the bank and you're smart, you're going to come out of this a millionaire. That's how cheap stuff's going to be. That house that's going for 350,000, it may go down to 200. That car they selling for 80, they may be getting rid of that sucker for 25,000. Everything is going on sale, and then that's going to be the first stage. Then it's going to go on clearance. So if you own rental property and you're highly leveraged, I would be very, very worried right now because you know they're doing all of this stuff to help out the average man, and maybe they're going to do some stuff for you, but at some point the bill's going to come due. Rules for rebels. Right now, the best landlord can hope for is a 90-day deferment. Even if it's backed up on a loan, landlord still has to pay tenant. Doesn't. Landlord's going to get screwed. Pretty much. Christopher, you really sound like you learned your lesson. Oh, I started this business in the last recession. I had my storage auction business during the last recession. I saw what happened. Like the people who own thrift stores, resale stores, once we kind of like bounce back where people get out, they're going to thrive because people are going to be looking for items that they can get cheaply. If you're in the like resale is recession proof. If you could go out and get goods and resell them cheap, you're going to make a lot of money. And this bug thing is not going to last forever, but I think that it's going to set the stage for us to go into a depression, which I'm going to talk about on this evening stream. BK from properties. See, this is going to be different. The last 2008 recession was caused by real estate. This thing is going to impact real estate when it gets up to the bank level, when we start having all of these foreclosures and defaults. That's when it's going to be clearance time. Wayman Brown, thanks for the $2 super chat. This is when we're going to have the clearance sales. This is when it's going to be wild. All right. This live stream was brought to you by Hustlers Kung Fu Live, lifeskills.com. Currently, we have the Making Money course, the Making Money from Scratch Setup and Foundation course. This is on beta pricing for $150. And this Sunday, we're going to have a live webinar to answer any of your questions. And there will be an additional section added. So if you want a piece of the action, plus I will be working on some other stuff. So if you're on the email list, there's going to be some deals and some things I'm going to put out for the people who are already part of the Hustler Kung Fu family. Because I'm going to go into a lot of training. Because once again, I've learned my lessons from the last recession. The last recession, I had no clue to what was going to go on. I knew I was good because I had money in the bank. But this recession, I'm going to go as hard as I can. I'm going to do as much training as I can. I'm going to put out as much stuff as I can because I know what's going to happen. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to lose their job. Is everybody going to be broke? No. And the people who are not going to be broke, the people who are going to manage to keep their jobs, they're going to be scared because they're going to see friends and family lose their jobs. They're going to be scared and they're going to be like, look, I need to reinforce my position. And these are the folks who are going to be buying these courses. So I'm not even concerned because yesterday was a good sales day and the day has already started off because there's a lot of people who like this Making Money from Scratch course. Because if you want to make money from scratch, one of the hardest things that you have to do is put yourself in proximity to the money. Because we're going to be talking about narratives and scripts and all kinds of stuff in this course. Stuff you need to straighten out so you can go out here and get this money. You can get this money, man. Get this money. So the link's below. And also for those of you who asked about the Cash App, that link is also below. So with that, let's see what's going on before I go. Lieutenant Johnson, Bay Area landlords are now starting to require 18-month leases now in anticipation of the lower rents. I usually do a morning stream and an evening stream, D-Nice. Pretty much, Steven. That's why I'm so glad I didn't do what I was about to do. Appliance Boot Camp tried to pay cash for some property this week. Not able to do so. Title searches in all of the cities and counties are short-staffed. It was turning into a nightmare. Oh, Kevin, it's going to happen. It is definitely going to happen. So with that, I will see you people later.